It's okay to be starting from the beginning of a chapter. Whether you are starting on chapter 1, whether you are starting chapter 20, it's okay. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's funny because there's one thing that I promised myself I would never do on this channel, and that is start a video with an over-dramatized, this is a really hard video to make. However, I just want to preface by saying this is actually a very hard video for me to make. I'm not going to cry, it's not one of those, don't you worry. However, I am opening up and I am here to be extremely vulnerable with you and share something that I've opened my eyes to that has been holding me back on my business journey in the hopes that it will inspire you not to do the same thing. So, something that I realized recently was that I had been holding myself back from relentlessly pursuing opportunities because of my ego. And what I mean by that is I had thought because I'd achieved a certain level of success, you know, a six-figure following on YouTube and, you know, a multi-six-figure business, that somehow had entitled me not to continuously do the groundwork of my growth. What I actually mean by that is I was stopping myself from going to events as an attendee because in my mind I was like, I should be speaking at these events. When going to these events are the things that were going to get me networking with people that would eventually lead me to speak at these events. You know, I would stop myself from really showing up in a way online that was of the student because I saw myself as such a teacher. And why this has been extremely detrimental to my journey is because it really has halted me at a glass ceiling. The success that I've created so far, I've stepped out of the relentless, naive, excited student energy and put myself in a position where I was like, I'm successful. It wasn't that I don't need to learn anymore because I am obsessed with learning. You guys know that. I always read books and I love learning from people. But it's this energy of I'm willing to do what it takes. I'm willing to be the newcomer in this particular network of people. I'm willing to put myself out there and network as someone who doesn't know it all or hasn't achieved the success that they want yet. I really found myself stopping from just showing up in a way that was like, I'm gonna do what it takes because I didn't want to seem like I still had further to go. And why this has really been detrimental to my journey is because we always have further to go. As I said, particularly with the event example, I stopped myself from going to events in case there were people in my community there. And I thought to myself, what would they think of me? They've paid to go to this event that I've also paid to go to. Does that make us on the same level? And I know that that sounds ridiculous. It really does because, I mean, in terms of business success, I know what I've achieved and I should be happy with that. But for some reason, there was a part of my ego that was telling me that if I was at an event in the exact same position as someone who had, you know, bought one of my courses, then they would think less of me. Yo, this is Erin from the future of this video, editing and realizing how what I just said completely did not exactly sound like what I was meaning. I love meeting my community. It's one of my most favorite things to do. If you ever see me anywhere, please come up and say hi. Like, meeting people in real life, IRL, is literally one of my most favorite things to do. What I meant by this particularly was that it made me feel less than. You know, if I had gone to an event and someone from my community came up and they were sitting next to me, in my mind, I was like, why aren't I hosting this event? Or why aren't I speaking at this event? You know, I'm sitting here and my community are meeting me, but they're just meeting me at somebody else's event. And it was making me feel less than. It was making me feel like I should be doing more. If people are meeting me, they should be meeting me at an event that I've thrown or that I'm speaking. And I know that that kind of brings on that sense of entitlement because I should have just gone anyway. And that's obviously what I mean by this whole entire entire video, but I just wanted to clarify it is not a matter of me saying I didn't want to meet someone in the audience or that, you know, I don't want to be seen with people in my audience. That's absolutely not the case. I would have you guys around in my house if I could. But honestly, it's just that I felt like I wasn't living up to my potential and that I felt that people would also feel that of me. And yet I needed to be at those events because the organizers and the people who were probably still in the same position as me and attending those events but further along than me, those were the people that I needed to network with. You know, Simon Sinek always talks about this sense of entitlement, and whilst I am not saying by any means I think that I'm entitled, I do think that I have fallen into this trap of not wanting to look a certain way to my audience, and that's the vulnerable part for me. I really preach going out there and not caring what people think and doing whatever it takes to make your dreams come true, and in this particular circumstance, I wasn't doing that. I was worried that if I looked like too much of a beginner, even though I'm a beginner in the next level, people would look at me differently. And so what I really want you to take away from this is, are you stopping yourself from doing things because of the way that you think it is going to be perceived by other people? How ridiculous is it that I literally bought tickets, and I'm talking sometimes $200-$300 tickets to events, and didn't go because I was afraid of the way that it might look to people if I was just sitting in the crowd? I know, upon reflection, I see how crazy it is, but I know this is not going to translate in the exact same way if you are just starting your business, but here's the thing, something that I've been learning about recently, specifically, I've mentioned this book in a recent video, but specifically because I've been reading this book called Do Cool Shit by Miki Agrawal. I hope I'm saying the last name right. She was the creator of this incredible farm-to-table pizzeria in New York, as well as Thinx, you know, the period underwear, and a couple of other amazing, innovative businesses. And whilst reading her story and all the things that she did, the positions that she put herself in, the people that she networked with, the relentless amount of outreach that she did to make her dreams come true, putting herself in a position of I'm the beginner and I need your help, I really think the thing that I have neglected to do is put myself in that same position, to say I'm growing something and I need help. I don't have all the answers. I'm not the expert. Yes, I do know how to build an audience and make money online, but I have bigger goals and dreams than that. And I have to admit to myself that that is going to involve starting from the beginning. Not from the beginning of my journey, but from the beginning of this new chapter. It's okay to be starting from the beginning of a chapter. Whether you are starting on chapter 1, whether you are starting chapter 20, it's okay. It's okay to not have all the answers. So many people are afraid of putting themselves out there online because there's this weird complex around, I'm not expert enough, I'm just starting my journey, how can I guide and teach people? And that's a big part of what I'm trying to say here as well. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to put yourself out there and say, hey, this is what I know. I don't actually know this yet. I'm learning it and I'm getting there, but I can help you with this thing right now. But just watch me because I'm also going off and trying to learn about this other thing. And that puts me in the same position as you, just further along. And so I just really want us all to stop getting so hung up on how we are perceived by other people. Am I expert enough? Do I look like a beginner? Are people going to judge me because I'm going to an event? You know, that might not be your exact circumstance, but it definitely is mine. And I want us all to just be relentless about what it is that we need to do. Do whatever it takes. That is something that I'm really, really trying to instill in myself right now. Okay, so if that means that I'm going to send out 100 press letters about my company, the Game Changer Company, and get rejected by 99% of those people, because, you know, in my mind it should mean like, oh, I've got this level of success on YouTube, why aren't the press covering me? No, I still have to do that groundwork. I still have to face that rejection. I still have to put myself out there, and that's something that I'm realizing more and more. You know, I'm going into the next stage of my journey, and it is going to require the same grunt work that I did at the beginning. The sense of entitlement and of, oh, I've already got this level of success, or oh, I should be here, or people should know who I am. That's ridiculous. And that mentality was really holding me back. And again, that was the hardest thing for me to share with you guys, because the whole thing that I'm speaking about is not wanting you to look at me differently. But I know sharing this It may, and I'm okay with that. But what I really want you to take away is stop worrying so much about what other people think. There are actions that are going to progress your journey further than you could even imagine. But if you are so worried about looking like a beginner, putting yourself out there, not having all the answers, not being expert, getting rejected, the way people are going to view you, social situations, whatever it is that you are scared of right now, just know that that is the exact thing that is going to get you to where you want to go. You know, me going to events and just taking it and networking and building and expanding my own network, that is the thing that is going to help me host my own events, which is one of my biggest dreams. It's always the thing that you're most scared of. It's always the thing that you're resisting the most. That is going to be the thing that's going to get you to where you want to go. So I really hope that me sharing my story has helped you in some way. I really love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What is the one thing that you are really avoiding right now? And let's all just commit to doing it together. This is going to be a big part of this series where you guys have been following me on the journey to growth, the growth of myself and the growth of my business. And I really am going to be just... And then my camera stopped recording, of which I didn't find out until right now. Just to summarize, guys, go out there, do epic stuff. Don't care what other people think. Don't care how other people perceive you, and you will literally change the world. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, or reach out to me on Instagram as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.